Good morning. In this case, we are here to talk about a problematic that it seems a lot in the streets of Bogota, and it's the traffic flow that forms in the city roads. That problematic happens because different reasons. One of them is the poor condition of the roads in Bogota. That happens because the invías, that is the entity responsibility to direct the construction projects in national roads. In this case, the invías contract external entities to pay the materials and the machinery to construct the roads, but these entities choose materials of poor quality, and that affects the roads. Another problematic is because the poor awareness of the drivers, because in many cases the drivers in the city don't respect the signals and the parking spaces, and that produce that the traffic increase a lot.
An example of this is that day a day we see that in the hours that has the greatest numbers of cars, we have more congestions and we can pass across the street, because this street is very important that connect with the Boyacá Avenue and the North Highway. At 5 o'clock, we see that is the most congestion hours. We see in that the street that not only the cars trying to cross the street, are cars that are parking or staying places that they can park in. An example of this is that 3 or 4 weeks ago, the congestion lasted more than 4 or 5 hours, because a tree left on the car and they have to move them to unblock the street. For that reason, the street had been blocked in the direction to the northwest. This is a biggest problem because the police always is out of the area, and they can control these small problems or biggest problems like the left of the car, or some people parking in other places that can parking. For that reason, that police have to took too many time to come to control that situations, is that because the problem of the street with the congestions.
Industry engineer stay to optimize each process that happen or that carry out day of day. The traffic in Colombia, specifically Bogota, is one of the problems that be more occurred persons in the city. That, for example, a person that travel 5 days per week lose around 3 hours in traffic and problems of ways to roads. One solution that we focus in industrial engineering, maybe the forecast is one of the tools that must use like engineer, and in this case, like volunteerism, using a student of University of Sabana. The idea is to that forecast is speculate or estimate a future event. In this case, the rules or the time that is spent each student. The idea that collect information for the method of forecast is they have a mathematical method and quantify the information. Information is used start to collect, for example, the partners in our classes, and the idea is to follow with the faculty and show this the result of the forecast, and maybe have idea what time spend each student for arrive to the university.
Okay, thank you so much for listening to me, partners. And finally, as we know that it's an obligation of the government to control the state of the ways in terms of biointelligence, the conditions of the road, and enforce the laws, it is our responsibility to take awareness of the biointelligence to improve the traffic fluency. Isn't it? Obviously it is. So I want to invite you to take awareness of the biointelligence to improve the traffic fluency and solve this problem. We have the solution in our hands, but sometimes we are the same that cause this problem. So if we put our grain of sand to solve this problem, we will achieve better conditions in the way, and also we are going to improve the quality of our lives because it is a problem that affects our lives. Thank you.